Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host and running mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill
Bill
Smith.
Smith, hey, thanks for having me, Omari.
It's funny because I did just straight up say Bill Smith this time.
I thought that's what I heard after I did that. The one week I choose. Hey, Omari, how's it going? You know the deal. I love being here. I love doing this. I love talking movies and TV shows and other things with you, and I love the little book club like movie club that we have going on.
Yes, as do I. And this week is a week where we have one of those certified, classics out there. A
But
comedy
we're
classic.
we've been kind of rolling on like a sports
We
on like a
have.
sports theme a little bit, right? That's kind
Yeah.
of it's kind of been a vibe,
Doing a sports theme. We had
or
boxing
at
a
least
few
I've
weeks
been I've
ago.
I've been throwing a lot of sports at you.
You have. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of the sports movies I've seen have been also seen by you. But yes. But you have been it we both like sports and we didn't have enough sports on here. So we're fixing that. And this week, you decided to keep the sports trend going. We had boxing, we've had baseball, and now we've got golf with Caddyshack.
Caddyshack from 1980. An exclusive golf course has to deal with a flatulent new member and a destructive dancing gopher. It is directed by Harold Ramis. It is written by Brian Doyle Murray, Harold Ramis, and Douglas Kenny. It stars Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield, Bill Murray, and so many more. Omari, like you said, this is one of those. I mean, it depends on how you view these movies, but some could view that. I mean, any given person is going to look at this list I have in front of me of the movies that you haven't seen. Spoilers. I'm not going to reveal any of the future movies. This list is kept under top secret control. Nobody gets to view this list. But if they did, probably everyone at the end of the day would have their own like, oh, that he hasn't seen that one. Um, but this is a really strong segment of the American population would probably be like, you've never seen Caddyshack?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Other than
have.
it being a very white movie, what has kept you from it?
Well, you see, it's a very white. Nah.
I
But
took it from you before you could use it.
yes, because I totally would have said that. They now I hadn't seen it primarily. I think when I was younger, it was because it was a golf movie. I didn't realize it
White
was
movie.
supposed to be a comedy. Well, I
No.
wasn't that big on golf,
No, yeah, no.
but
I was
yeah,
just continuing the joke.
yeah. So, but as I got older, found out it was a comedy. I'm like, oh, I should probably go back and watch that, which it turns out to be a lot of the things on here. It's like, how did I see this? Oh, I put it on the backlog. When were you ever going to tackle that? I wasn't. It was going to be eventually. I knew there was something with a gopher, and I thought there was something with Bill Murray.
We all have that list that we say we're putting it on a list, but we all know that it's actually a list of like permanent purgatory, and you're putting it there to die. You're putting it on. This is now on the list of movies that I say are on the list, but they're actually on the secret list. That is just that I say that they're on the list, but
I'll get
we're
around
never
to
gonna
it.
leave the list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's on my list. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something.
I'm never gonna fucking
Casablanca,
watch that movie.
damn, that is such a classic that I need to get around to watching. I'm gonna get around to watching that one day. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. I knew there was a gopher. I had heard and forgot that Dangerfield was in it. But I always associated it with Bill Murray. So I was like, yeah, Bill Murray, because I've always heard his name associated with it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. He absolutely has some shining moments in this movie, but yeah, fun. Yeah, one of the more supporting characters of the film.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't realize Chevy Chase was part of it. Well, until watching this time around.
This is mostly Michael O'Keefe's movie,
Hmm.
who's playing Danny Noonan, who just gets to kind of exist around all of these crazy characters.
Pretty much.
So yeah, like what were you
Yeah.
expecting?
I was
As it
expecting
started going off, what
I
was
was
happening?
expecting a lot of laughs because comedy classic Caddyshack.
Right. Any concern that, comedy doesn't can sometimes not have a long shelf life.
No,
Okay.
while I agree with the concept wholeheartedly, that
Right.
no, I agree that comedy does not have a long shelf life, or some comedy doesn't. It depends. It's very
Hmm.
much product of its time. Usually, because I'm looking at things to laugh anyway,
Hmm.
usually I'll find something funny and I'll be able to at least ignore the fact, like, unless it's
Maybe we
something
should test that
truly
theory
atrocious. Unless it's something
with
truly
something pretty big.
atrocious. Maybe. Maybe.
Hmm,
Maybe.
maybe.
But
So okay, so you're expecting are you expecting gut busting? Like this is a comedy classic.
yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm expecting. Just nonstop. Ha 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 ha. Let's have a good time.
Man, these
First
all
time
these
watching
SNL people in
First
here.
time, yeah, first time watching Anchorman, while being target demographic for watching Anchorman type shit.
Yeah.
Because, if you watch Anchorman for the first time nowadays, you may not think it's funny and you may think it's overrated.
Again,
Uh,
I don't know. Comedy doesn't have a long shelf life
I'm just
sometimes.
quoting an acquaintance of ours.
Yeah, I quoted the shit out of Anchorman.
As did
Um,
I.
it was a big one. It was a big one for me. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched that in a long time. Comedy doesn't hold up a lot of the time.
True. True. But nostalgia
Like,
comedy
yeah.
often does. But we get into the movie, and I was kind of surprised with initial reactions and stuff that the gopher was right at the beginning.
Yeah.
But and I'm all right. I had always assumed, because I'd at least seen, if not like a GIF, maybe like a couple seconds, and definitely seen the references to it. But
Uh-huh.
I thought that was more like an end of the movie thing. Spoilers, it was. But I was like, oh, the movie starts with the
Yeah.
gopher? Is the gopher a
One of
bigger
the
part of this than I
one
thought?
one of the science teachers at our high school had a replica animatronic in their classroom that featured heavily in a series of map testing videos when you went to the school. I don't know if you remember those at all.
Not with that. The
When the
main thing
gopher
I
went missing and it was like the kidnapped gopher and the kidnappers were sending in ransom
oh,
videos.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was that was a Caddyshack gopher that if you like pushed a little button, it would, I'm all right. It would shake its booty.
So that
Yeah,
was
do this
fun.
dance.
That was fun, getting ready to start. I do quickly realize that it's not gonna be gut busting, because the
Mm,
comedy style real quick is at least a different style. I'm not saying nothing was funny, it was just not like, oh my god, ha ha ha.
yes.
But it's a
This
lot
was
of
released in the 80s, but it is 1980. 1980.
Yeah,
So
it's a
this
lot of
is a
70s
70s
humor.
movie.
Yeah,
This
a
is a
lot of
70s
70s
film.
humor. Um,
And like they're a lot of 70s stuff kind of thing. Of just I don't know, the I feel like the opening is very if and they're also really telling you who Danny is right away. Like, all right,
yeah,
poor family, grows up in rich town, wants to be like the rich people, hates being poor people, works at the
work at the
works
thing.
work
Oh
at the golf
no, you
course
can't be
so
a caddy
he can
forever.
rub elbows with the rich people. Like we learned that in like the first minute and a half.
Yep, sure enough. So exactly, we learned that pretty fast, and then we also see Bill Murray being kind of the you know assistant to the groundskeeper, who's also a heavily much a slacker slash pervert. Just sitting over here. Oh yeah, ladies, go ahead
Oh
and put that
God.
thing.
Right. Yeah. Because yeah, we're also introduced to our main antagonist, who's the judge character, who's just kind of like the head member. Like he's the president of the members board or something like that. And he just really likes to stamp his feet around and point and yell at things. And so we get introduced right away to him. This is who this person is. This is his thing. Oh, hey, there's this construction company across the street that's really giving him a bunch of problems. Wonder if that's going to play into effect here in about 20 minutes. But
Yeah.
also, his shot was just ruined by a damn gopher. Get that gopher out of here.
Yeah, and so Bill
Is this
Murray's
the
mission
last
for the
time we see
movie.
the Scottish groundskeeper?
I think
Like,
so. The groundskeeper for the rest of the movie is pretty much Bill Murray.
but he's just walking around like somebody's got to mow the grass and shit.
According to him, he does. He's like, people think I'm stupid because all I do is mow grass, but oh yeah, I think that is the last time we see the Scottish groundskeeper, who's very Scottish. At first, it's gonna be like, why is he Scottish? Then I'm like, oh wait, golf.
Oh wait, golf.
Yeah, makes sense.
They need a
Uh,
Scotsman. Grass, the growing green grass.
I mean, they would know the most about the best kind of grass for golf. They made the sport.
They made grass.
They would know the horticultural. They would have the horticultural knowledge
Yeah,
to make optimal golf grass.
I would hope they invented it.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah,
Anyway,
grass. They invented they
grass.
they invented grass.
Yes, Bill Murray also uh early on you see because he immediately lies about beating like the Dalai Lama or the Dalai Lama as he
Oh my
was.
God.
I'm like, oh no, he's a liar
If
too.
you didn't already assume, most of Bill Murray's things in this movie are completely improvised by Bill Murray.
Oh,
Uh,
only Bill Murray? That's a certain somebody else. I feel like they did just tell him to just say shit. Okay.
yes, yeah, Rodney also ended up writing a lot of his own dialogue. I don't know if that was guided. Harold Ramis intentionally was just like would just tell Bill scenarios. Like he's just like, all right, you're talking to this young caddy, and I need you to make him uncomfortable. And then he tells the Dalai Lama story. And then he's like, all right, Bill, like I want you to think of like the best heroic sports moment for your character. And then that's when we get he's a Cinderella boy. He's a Cinderella boy, Cinderella story. It's in the hole.
They're
That
doing 150 feet up.
yeah, his role is pretty much just let's hire Bill Murray. He's really funny. He'll make this really funny. We don't even have to interact him with any other characters really. They shot the him and Chevy scene late. It was like a reshoot of like all right, we gotta like somebody was like your two funniest characters in the movie never even meet. Um So they added that scene really late, but otherwise, Bill Murray would just be off in a world of his own on this golf course, him and this puppet.
Incredible. Yeah. Speaking of Chevy Chase, we also get him early, and he just seems like he's really, really fucking good at golf. But for
But
some
doesn't
reason,
care at all.
yeah, like no, don't take the score. What do you shoot? Something like 75, 80, or like 68? But he didn't want to just write it down. No, he's weird like that.
Yeah.
Like if he misses on purpose type shit. Like when he's doing the different putts, and then one misses, and then he's like, "Well, shortest distance isn't always a straight line." Pops that other ball over it into the hole, and then knocks it in. Like, okay, show off.
I mean, yeah, I've never looked into if that's if they got some sort of fishing line, golf balls getting dragged into the holes scenario, or if Chevy
Chevy's just
just
that good.
did that shit. Because I mean, he does play the piano. That was him. That was an improvised moment by him. He can do that. He can have that skill. He There are clearly moments in the film where you can tell that he has skill in golf. Like they're not faking a good drive
Yeah,
shot of him hitting the ball well, even though we in the film can't really see where the ball's going. Like you can
yeah.
see the smooth
He's got the
swing
form
with the
down.
yeah. Um and like there are several moments because his character is like a golf savant. He has to do some pretty incredible golf things on camera. And I can't tell you if it's fake or not.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I agree. I actually kind of like Chevy in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I've always been kind of meh on Chevy Chase.
I've been a little bit of a Chevy hater myself. Other than like I love the TV show Community,
Uh-huh.
but all of the stuff that the like I like this is like a for me this is like an uncle movie.
Okay.
Like there's like a category of movies that are like uncle movies, and Chevy Chase is like the on the Mount Rushmore of uncle movies. Just like movies my uncle would
Yeah.
quote and talk about. And it's like this and Fletch and
Yeah.
Vacation.
Vacation movies, Christmas
Yeah.
vacation
Yeah.
shit.
And then yeah, it says other random ones and like action films. Some I've probably shown here on this playlist before are uncle movies to me. Um uh uh, but yeah, I'm usually not much of a Chevy guy in
Yeah.
his heyday when he was like storming the box office.
Yeah.
I Those movies have never really slapped with me that well.
Yeah.
Like Christmas Vacation is not on my Christmas board.
I like Christmas Vacation. I watched it a lot in high school. I've not watched it every year for Christmas or nothing. I
Yeah.
saw it again recently. Had some funny moments and stuff, but
Yeah,
I can
it's
see,
fine for me.
yeah, it's not as funny as speaking of comedy degrading over time. That's something like that.
Yeah.
Um, that said, in this movie, I thought I liked his character and his like delivery of things. It made me laugh because he had the dry type humor type thing, also the sarcastic or and switch ups on things where he'll
Uh-huh.
make you think he's going one way and then just insult you. Like, oh, don't feel so bad. You're terrible. Like, oh, don't sell yourself short. You're terrible. You're awful.
The he's the only one in this movie that's doing that style that I like just those quick. I wish there was somebody else in this movie that could go just like boom 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 with him. Like him and Bill are doing it a little bit.
Yeah,
But Bill Murray's character is so slow. Like Bill Murray has the ability to just go back and forth with him, but just like uh Ted Knight does a great job in this film as the judge. But when he goes, well, then how do you measure yourself against other golfers? By height. Like that's so good, and the underplaying, like you said, the like just the dry selling of it that Chevy does is so good, and it's begging for a moment to just be like, and just that could be a ping pong bouncing back and forth, so good. But he has several of those moments that just like that one are just like so dry, but like it gets me so, those are some of my biggest laughs of the movie are just those
Yeah.
like how do you measure yourself against other golfers? By height.
Yeah, he had like a lot of lines that I was like, okay, you got me on that one. Um, and then of course, eventually we do get introduced to the man of the hour, Mr. Rodney Dangerfield. He comes in and he's Rodney Dangerfield. He sure is Dangerfielding. He has some funny stuff. At the same time, it's one of those things where I'm like, I felt like like you said, he probably had a lot of his stuff improvised. Because some of the time I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, they just told this man to just say shit.
Yeah,
It's
he's
got
he's
nothing to
walking
do
around and
with
saying,
nothing, and he's just like,
yeah, he's just they're just filming him riffing. It's I hear this place is restricted, Wang, so don't tell him you're Jewish, okay?
But yeah. So he comes in, his character's super fucking rude. Whatever. Oh, was that
I
one of the
just
lines?
forgot about it. I mean, it goes by so quickly that I forgot about. Oh, this your wife, huh? A lovely lady. Hey, baby, you must have been something before electricity. Oh God.
That's right. He must have been something before electricity. Yeah. So he's in the movie and he's pretty cool. But his character's obnoxious, just not what you want at a country club, which makes the judge mad. Also, he runs said construction company that he hates. I'm pretty sure it's like search and construction because he keeps talking about all the condos and stuff he's building. He's like, get the cops on him. Call the chief of police. I built his
Yeah.
condo. Ah.
He's like a landowner slash developer. He's
Yeah,
going to make big buildings and strip malls and parking lots and just own a bunch of land.
exactly. And so he's one of those dudes that's rich and just doesn't care. And he's just like, I'll do what I want. I don't care. Come on. You carry my bags, will you? He's got like fucking drink makers in his bag and shit. And all this highly technological shit. Oh, I got this one for Stephen Hawking.
A radio and speaker system. So there's
Let's dance.
a dance, a full dance break.
So fucking random. How the rest of the movie is going on. It's like you said, like Bill Murray's off in his side universe, and Rodney Dangerfield's just doing whatever the fuck he wants, while other people are having or trying to like have a scene with a plot. He's just like, "Hey, baby, oh, Rodney Dangerfield." Ah, oh god, but no. Uh, but yeah, it. Meanwhile, I thought it was funny early on when the dude was like getting mad at his rival caddy early on about getting a Coke. He's like, 50 cents for a Coke? I'll be damned if I pay 50 cents for a Coke. And I'm like, wow, 50 cents for a Coke is
Yeah.
too much. Meanwhile, I get mad when I'm like, this vending machine wants me to pay 3.50 for a Coke. Yeah, some vending machines want you to pay that much. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
I just won't get a Coke
It's
today.
like fortified energy drink prices.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my energy drink for 3.50? But so that was funny. Rodney Dangerfield was cool. Chevy starts having another sideline where he's like dating this chick who for a second I got confused because they were talking about the judge's niece for a minute. And then this other blonde chick shows up. I'm like, is she trying to get with Chevy too? How old is Chevy supposed to be in this movie? And then I was like, oh no, they're different people. Okay. But yeah, he has his whole side plot with her, which I thought it was funny the first scene. Speaking of like just his delivery versus like whatever, like she's like trying to hit on him, and he's just like, How about we do this? Oh yeah, well, I bet you can tie ties, tie. What no? It's like no. Oblivious. Then he's like, "How about
She
we try
comes
to act
on.
like
She comes
normal
on strong.
people?" He's like, "How about we try to act like normal people?" She's just like gets upset, but they eventually get together and everything, and have some more like funny moments between them.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
main
like I
character,
mentioned that the the piano bit that's entirely Chevy there. Um do does he do we not do we witness him secretly drugging her?
don't
Is it
know.
that 70s of a movie?
I don't know if
When
he's
he's
drugging.
fumbling when he's fumbling with the Pierre bottle, the Perrier bottle, Pierre, the Perrier bottle, uh um and he has like the only drinks he has in the house are these two half-empty Perrier bottles, and he starts pouring one into the other bottle, and then he's going to fake put the cap on it, but I feel like we see him catch the eye of a pill, pick it up, and put it in the bottle.
I don't know. I know. I remember with the tequila. I know he definitely was drinking less than her because she was like, "Is this how you drink the tequila? I'll show you how to do that." And he like snorts the salt and tosses the tequila over his shoulder instead of drinking it. So I'm like, he's definitely drinking less than her, but actively drugging probably did happen because, like you said, it's probably that 70s of a movie. Um, But yeah, they had their whole moment. Meanwhile, main character, his whole plot point, he wants to rub the arms of rich people, and the judge has a scholarship for caddies that can get him into college so he don't have to work at his family's company. So he's trying to get in good with the judge. The judge has a niece, and he decides, and the niece is coming on to him. She comes on to everybody, apparently, according to his girlfriend, who also, I think, is of the European accent, whether Scottish
She's
or
Irish or
Irish.
Scottish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whether Irish or Scottish. Um, Maggie. Uh, but he eventually he's like, okay, he gets on the judge's good side because he takes the fall for him when the judge like throws his golf club at somebody because Rodney Dangerfield pissed him off. And he's like, all right, I get to go on the judge's yacht. And then the judge's niece comes up like, hey, want to get high? Yeah. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. You got success right there. You know what I mean? You're going to be in. You're in with the rich guy. You get the nepotism. You get whatever money you leave. You can leave after that. But you're going to turn around while he's trying to have you at this thing because you just want to smoke and have sex with his niece at his house.
The pretty girl, Omari, the pretty girl.
Yeah. Hey, we've all been there. The pretty girl just walks up like, hey, want to get high and fuck? Remember every time, if I had a nickel, if I had a nickel for every time that happened, let me tell you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Anyway, bottom line is we um I did think the speaking of funny moments in the movie, the Babe Ruth candy bar in the water, the
Right.
and the fucking
Classic
Jaws
scene.
music.
Yeah.
Dude,
Judy!
dude.
Yeah.
That was funny. Oh yeah, speaking of those people that the girl was smoking with, are you sure this is good? Oh, of course it is. I got it from a Negro. Like, why that mean it's gotta be the better one? Oh, this is. I was like, wow, fair enough. It could have been a worse line. It could have been far worse.
Yeah, we don't have to hear the punchline of the judge's joke. Who knows where that was going to go
Oh,
earlier in the film
oh
when
yeah,
the attendant when the clubhouse attendant was like, "Colored boy." What the fuck? What the fuck did this dude just say?
yeah, and start messing with the shoes. I'll show you. Again, could have been far worse. But
Yeah.
we did, and you're right, we did need to hear the punchline to know that, especially seeing the other guy's response. But yeah, eventually, the after a lot of shit like Rodney Dangerfield breaking dude's yacht with his boat. Hi, my friend's over there. What's that?
Yeah.
Which way is backwards?
You scratched my anchor.
Just an asshole for asshole's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure a standout moment. The when we get to see the 15 minutes of allotted pool time they allow the staff to have, and the reason why, yeah, you mentioned the candy bar in the pool, but just that whole scene of just like immediately it's like, well, that's why you guys are only
Only
allowed 15
15
minutes.
minutes. I'll just... But yeah, despite catching dude with his niece, the senator or the dude's like, okay, whatever. I need your help with whatever. Da 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 da. I'll give you a second chance. But are you on the side of good or are you on the side of evil? I'm on the side of good, I guess. I still just want to use you to be rich because I hate being poor.
Right.
Whatever you need to hear, man. Also, at the time that he was saying that he thought that he had gotten Maggie pregnant, so that also probably influenced his decision.
Right.
Like, I need the money now. I need to say whatever. And
That part of this movie is always a little weird for me. It's just like, I don't know why you need it because you backpedal on it literally like 2 scenes later. So I don't like this character's literally his entire motivation is I don't want to be poor no more. You don't need to add to you don't need that doesn't need any adding. It
yeah,
doesn't gain any more motivation. I mean, like you said, he technically does, I
yeah,
suppose, but we don't need it as an audience.
I'll
And
agree.
then you're gonna literally backtrack on it 2 scenes later. It's like, oh no, yeah, I'm not pregnant. Never mind. Don't worry about it. You did what? You cheated on me? That's a whole different conversation. Why
Yeah.
didn't we just have this conversation 2 scenes ago? I don't know.
Pretty much. Uh, but we eventually get like a bar scene because Rodney Dangerfield just decides he's going to bet against the judge for money on a golf game. And the judge is like, I'll take my friend brother, it's the Belvedere, or whatever the fuck the guy's name is. And he's like, well, I want Chevy Chase. And Chevy Chase is like, I don't want to do it, because I don't play against people for money. Do 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 do. He's like, what are you, religious? Kinda. But then Judge pulls Chevy over to the side and just like, your dad and I, we built this place. Da 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 with this. And he's just doing the thing. I'm like, oh, he's not accepting anything from this man. He's gonna turn him down, sure enough. My dad always hated you. We're doing it for 40,000. Like, well, damn, fuck you. But we get the big golf game the next day, and before that, we get the scene like you said with Bill Murray and him talking, and they do the cannonball thing. Take a hit. All right, now cannonball with this. Now cannonball it right back. Now cannonball it again. Cannonball. So I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna be too drunk and high the next day to play the game. Well, and that's gonna be the part of the conflict or whatever. No. Then he closes his hand in the car door. Surely that's gonna come into play. Like he's in the background the whole time, really selling the hand. And I mean, his game is a little off that day. He doesn't play perfect like he's known to, but it's never bad enough to be like, damn, if only I hadn't slammed to even warrant if only I hadn't slammed my hand in the car door.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, well, they're clearly showing that he's the best player on the field, at least, because Rodney Dangerfield, his teammate, is having the self-described worst round of his entire life. Like
Also
the shot of
true.
his scorecard is just an absolute mess.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so the fact that they're even close to into it at the end,
Yeah.
the movies tell you that Chevy Chase is like, if we were going on individual scores, Chevy Chase probably beats them by a country mile. But they're grading on the team basis.
Yeah. And that's where we get the thing where Rodney Dangerfield, I'm telling you, I have the worst game of my life. Oh, come on now. You're just not very good. You're just not good.
Yeah, you're just bad at this.
You just suck. But yeah,
And then the
we
judge eggs him on to doubling the bet. So now it's not 40,000 per team, it's 40,000 per person. So it's
yeah.
it's a $160,000 pot.
Yeah, and everyone on the golf course is picked up on this because gambling's not supposed to be allowed, but when you got that much money riding and then people over exaggerating how much money is riding on it
Right.
when they
I'm
tell the
telling you, this
other
is $1 million hole.
who you got? 10,000 says this guy's son picks his nose. Double or nothing says he eats it.
Um, one random standout, another one of those Bill Murray moments. He actually did work with somebody else other than Chevy Chase and a gopher. We had that scene with him and the priest, who is golfing the best round of his life in the middle of a
Yes.
lightning storm.
Yes.
And then it ends with the priest getting struck by lightning and Bill Murray just putting down the golf bag and walking away, and we never address it again.
It's so out of nowhere, dude. He had the best game of his life. Just, should I go in? No, I think you got it, sir. I don't think the heavy stuff's
Technically, I
coming
could get the
down.
club record.
Yeah. And one shot shy and just gets struck by lightning and dies.
We would assume, I mean, he is not seen again. That's it. That's
I
it.
don't even think he
And
was
never
mentioned
addressed.
before. I don't think it was mentioned before or after that scene. It's just the scene that happened.
He's the one that the judge tells the dirty joke to, or tries to tell the dirty
Oh,
joke to.
okay.
And he's the judge's partner several times before the judge pairs up with the doctor for the tournament, because the
Gotcha.
doctor is the club champion.
Oh, okay.
But a lot through the early part of this movie, the judge is golfing with the priest.
Okay. My bad. But it's funny that scene happened. But yeah, that was hilarious. And the fucking frog hopping out a hole, just the like serendipitous ways he would actually end up scoring.
Uh-huh.
So that was fun. But yeah, we get to a point where Rodney Dangerfield eventually bounces a ball off a tree into his own arm, which he then tries to play off that he broke it. So they had to replace him, and they replaced him with Danny Noonan, who,
Yeah.
in doing so, makes his final, face turn as he says, "Fuck you, judge guy. I don't want your rich guy stuff. I want to beat you at golf." So they go ahead, team up, and as they get close to winning, this whole time, because the man was hired or was told to get rid of this goddamn gopher that's been eluding him the entire movie. Bill Murray's character has decided, I'm gonna blow it up with some plastic explosives in the shapes of various animals. And so while they're playing their golf game, he's just dropping these animals into various gopher holes. The gophers running from like tunnel to tunnel, terrified. And so it comes down to the last shot. Noonan goes to try and make it, and it looks like it's not gonna do it. And I'm like, is the explosion gonna like shake it into the thing? I thought it would just be some explosion like off in the ground shakes that happened to do it. No, we get the fucking da 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 fucking explosions and shit everywhere. we do get the inevitable, oh, it shakes enough to knock the ball into the hole, so they win. But it was great. I love the explosions at the end. I'm a guy that likes his explosions. I feel like there's lots of reasons to not like Michael Bay. The fact that he likes explosions is not one of them.
And then and then you know what? If the movie already wasn't ending in a good time, then you're just gonna have Rodney Dangerfield look to almost the entire cast of the movie all crammed onto the balcony and just say, "Hey, we're all gonna get laid." What? What?
So again, they just told him to say shit. Like, just say something, Rodney. Hey, we're all gonna get laid. Yeah! And then as the movie opened, the gopher coming out of the hole. I'm all right. Don't worry about me. And I'm like, okay, that's a good full circle way to do that. And yeah,
So what'd you think, Omar?
uh it was a funny movie. I don't know about, like I said, as gut busting as I thought it would be. I can clearly
Yeah.
see why it is seen as what it is, though. I feel like the people they got to do this movie were all pretty much in their element doing it. you know
Yep.
if you want to see, like, oh, why did people like these comedic actors, this is a good movie to show them. Obviously they probably each have individual movies that have better things, but to get all of them at least at once, this is good. Some of the
Yeah.
comedy is dated. I mean, 70s humor versus 50 years later. um
Yeah.
so yeah.
This is true. This is true. I agree. It's a very quotable movie. I think that's why this is a classic.
I noticed the, well, we're waiting. I'd seen that meme numerous times.
Uh-huh.
Now I know what it's from. It's very quotable.
Yeah. Yeah. A bunch of Bill Murray stuff is just super quotable. Chevy Chase, obviously Rodney doing some stuff. So yeah, it lives off of its funny quotable lines. I feel like it's a fine movie. It's okay for me. It's one of those that's yeah, I can understand it, but there's just a few times where I'm chuckling and that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Caddyshack. It's good. Give it a watch. Check it out if you haven't.
Yes,
Um,
the 99th thing that we have
99.
watched, Omari. The
That's,
99th thing.
well, we got to pick something special for 100. So, you know what? I know you've seen this movie, but we've done something similar to this before, and where we did a thing where we did a you guys should see a movie that we both saw, but we probably just wanted to talk about
Yeah.
and nostalgize over, or even just we see if it stands the test of time, like our nostalgia tells us it has. We
Uh-huh.
chose to rate the last time, and especially going with the theme that we had of this one of, can comedy stand the test of time? Are
Ooh,
things as good now or as funny to you now as they were when you watched it back in the
you
day?
piqued my interest. You have me.
I'm
You
going
got me. Don't let me
with
down.
Jim
What are we doing?
Carrey's The
Ooh.
Mask.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
a very influential movie on myself, and one of the pivotal things that I like. We'll get into it when we get into it.
I'm
That will be
excited.
the episode 100. Be fun to watch that again. Yes, we'll do the. All right. If you want to see other stuff of ours, you can watch us on Saturdays with our show You Don't Watch Sports. Two guys talking about three topics, help you sprinkle some information into your sports conversation as we're your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Yes, you can also find me elsewhere on YouTube under Whatever We Want podcast sometimes with my good friend of mine, good friend of the show, Super Jazz. We talk about just that. You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Billy, you got anything you want to say to everybody?
Gunga Galunga.
All right. Thank you guys. You have a good one. Adios, miss.